Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Hobo. We are at the 79th Venice Film Festival, and we're very happy to introduce Wang Ji and Ryuji Otsuka and to discuss with them their new movie, Stonewalling. So, thank you very much for your time. And you have been making films about the lives of young people in China for more than a decade now, and especially about left behind children. And you shot them with the same actress over the time. And this new film is evolving this project that is one who has even an organic project focusing on the life of Lin, a young flight attendant in training whose plans to finish college are thrown into doubt when she discovers she's pregnant. How did you come up with this story, and why did you think this theme was the right one to deal with at this point of your filmography?
呃，因为我们从姚红贵14岁的时候开始用她做我们的第一部电影的女主角，然后她17岁的时候拍了我的第2部的女主角，然后呢，第3部的时候她22岁了，所以我想拍22岁的像她这样的年轻人的故事，对。因为我觉得就是因为从他的14岁到22岁的这个时间是中国的快速变化的时间，然后通过拍这样的一个女孩，一个少女怎么成长到一个女大学生。可以看到通过这个女性的一个成长的一个故事去表现中国的时代的变化。
I have a question about the actress.
The lead actress is Yao Hongui, who practically grew up with you since she was already the star of your first film when she was 14. About the principal actress, was it a project you had in mind from the beginning, or is it something you thought about later?
开始的时候是我回到我的家乡，为了我的第一部电影寻找女主角，因为我想用非专业的演员。然后找了很多很多的学校都没有找到，最后在一个就是在最后的最后，在一个很偏僻的小山村的学校里面找到了他，所以是缘分吧。
还有一个是那个就是我们每次拍电影的时候，会采访很多女孩子，大概100到200。然后呢，同时，是要这些演员的时候，我觉得这个姚红贵，他本人也有自己的体验，对，所以呢，我们是通过他的体验，去代表这个采访的100个、200个人的这个故事，混在一起的那种感觉吧。
会体验到别人的这
个。不是别人，他们是每一个人有体验的吧？但是我们的故事是听到他们的体验以后，去找共同点，
去找姚红贵和他们的
对，
共同点，
然后呢，代替他们的共同点，让姚红贵去演。
And the film is very detailed in describing these young people struggling with dead ends works, gig economy, and gray markets, and all this kind of stuff. And have you made some research or interview some maybe college-aged guys to have an idea of what was going on or what's going on these days in China with young people?
这次也是采访了很多的年轻人，大概200个年轻人左右吧。然后他们给我们的采访的时候，他们给我们一些每一个年轻人都会有的共同的体会，我们感受到这个，然后我们再去感受姚红贵，还是把他们结合在一起。那这一次的采访的年轻人不是大城市的，都是2线和3线的城市里面的年轻人，然后跟姚红贵 跟小山村里面的那个姚红贵的成长经历很相似的，从农村上中学，然后到大一点的镇上高中，然后再大一点的城市去上一个不那么好的大学。对。
Okay, I have a question about the social situation in China. Ever since China's one-child policy was changed to two-children policy, Chinese women now have more choice regarding motherhood. However, the number of abortions have not declined. So, do you think the policies of the past have influenced Chinese women in such a profound and irreversible way?
对，我觉得是的，因为我的妈妈是妇产科医生，我从小的时候，像我的女儿那么小的时候，已经看她做手术，所以，因为计划生育经常会，就是会把那个生命就那个比较直接，然后比较看多看的那个次数多了以后，已经麻木了，有一点。对，还有一个情况是，计划生育的过程和计划生育的政策结束的阶段，很多的医院都会宣传那个无痛人流，就是没有痛苦怎么做那个人流的手术。所以对很多的年轻人来讲，他们觉得他们对这个手术的概念是不痛对。所以这个片子里面的女主角也是刚开始的时候没有意识到痛感，但是在过程当中，然后在最后生孩子以后，她就是意识到了这个痛感。对。
One last question about the style of the film, because you tell this story of personal development and gaining self-conscious and of course also modification of the body, the changes in the body. But then you have this very this is, steel frames, very beautiful steel frames. So you have this kind of stasis, the visual stasis. And why do you think that is the best way to tell that kind of story? Why did you choose this approach, visual approach?
因为呢，这次我们选择了10个月的时间的拍摄，然后这个10个月是真的女性怀孕的时候，到生孩子的过程的时间。然后呢，我是一个男性，我也不知道这个10个月里面女性一般会有什么样的同感或者变化，所以呢，我们想去观察10个月，是观察的意思是保持一个固定的距离去看这个女孩子，所以我们不想通过镜头去给一个答案，我想去让观众感受这个 fixed shot 固定镜头，然后呢，在这个环境里面的这个女孩子去看，那个观众会看，然后自己想感受吧，对，就是这样子。
Well, so thank you very much for your time, and for this episode is all, and we'll see you for another episode for the 29th Venice Film Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.